I guess I don't mind when people miss them. After all, when you have the natural wonder of Niagara Falls and the nearby American Falls, it's easy to be distracted. But most of them are still there in one form or another, visible in the distance or through the ever-present mist. They are the hydroelectric generating stations of Niagara. Only a single wall of the first one still exists. It was moved from its original location and now sits on Goat Island, a popular tourist stop on the American side of the border. The emptied shells of two other stations sit on the Canadian side. One just above the falls, the other just below it. Both of them are in advanced stages of disrepair. And then there's this building. To me, it's always been remarkable. It's always been special. It may seem unassuming among the towers that now mark the skyline of Niagara Falls, but don't let appearances fool you, because it's really more than just a building. It's a time machine. Let me start over. I do mind when people don't notice these buildings, especially the William Birch Rankine Power Station. It went online in 1905, which, give or take a few years, was when the other Niagara stations also started to generate electricity. So why should people notice Rankine now, after all these years of relative anonymity? Because there will never again, under one roof, be such a potent encapsulation of humanity realizing its potential. Just think of your life without electricity, and you'll start to understand why Rankine is important. Before it and the other Niagara stations, household electricity seemed like science fiction, and it probably would have stayed that way if it hadn't been for investors like the Rothschilds, J.P. Morgan, John Jacob Astor IV, and the bitter power war fought between famed inventors Nikola Tesla and Thomas Edison. Both men claimed they knew the best and safest method to create cheap electrical power for our homes. Edison went so far as to electrocute an elephant to prove the danger of Tesla's alternating current over his direct current. If you don't believe me, you can watch a film of it on the internet. But in the end, only one would be proven right. The statues of Tesla on both the American and Canadian side of the border should tell you who won. And because a few pioneers were intent on harnessing the power of nature in a way that had never been done before, our lives and the world we know were transformed with the building of 4 generating stations. As a result, the Horseshoe Falls, which was once seen as a great natural wonder of the modern age, was suddenly diminished by these mysterious new structures. When H.G. Wells, author of The War of the Worlds and The Time Machine, visited Niagara in 1906, he didn't comment on the falls. He said this: "These dynamos and turbines impressed me far more profoundly. These are altogether noble masses of machinery, huge black slumbering monsters, great sleeping tops that engineer irresistible forces in their sleep. I fell into a daydream of the coming power of men and how that power may be used by them. Today, there's only one of these original stations left intact, Rankine." Just look at this place. There's nothing else like it that I know of. The rivets and heavy metal, the forebay where water entered the plant, and the penstocks that dropped water more than 10 stories to turn unseen turbines, the thrust deck that somehow controlled the spin of heavy metal shafts that were connected to the turbines, an empty subterranean hallway, the synchroscope, don't ask, I have no idea, the generators that produced the power, and the various meters, gauges, and governors that kept everything in check. The control room. There will never be another building like this. Rankine is history, your history and my history. A history that includes the dreams of men like Tesla and all those who, essentially, stood on his shoulders to create the modern world. And so I'll end with a question. What will we do with Rankine? Will this testament to what is possible be left like other hydroelectric plants of its era? Will it be left to crumble? I really hope not. I'd like to visit Rankine again someday. I'd like to think that my future holds yet another trip to the past to see the altogether noble masses of machinery that are waiting for me there.